The word side spin and overspin are trending, all thanks to Varun Chakravarthy, who's made a successful return to the Indian cricket team. And he's attributed his success to the use of overspin. He has said that he used to use side spin but realized it wasn't really working for him, and he tried to employ a lot of overspin in his delivery, and that's been his secret mantra, and that is why he's had such a successful return in a new avatar with the Indian team. And because these two words are trending, I thought let's try and break it down for our viewers and tell them what really is side spin and what really is overspin. So let's start with side spin, and I call this conventional spin. So if you're an off spinner, this is your typical grip for an off spinner. And what would be a side spin? You are going to be turning the ball like this. So the movement, your effort is with these three things, your two fingers and a thumb, you're trying to turn the ball like that. What that does is the ball will travel like this in the air, much like a chakri that you have in Diwali, in this sort of a format. It will turn and then it lands on the pitch and then turns in for a typical off spinner, because the revs are like this. So that rev movement will pitch on the wicket and then turn sharply in. So that is what a side spin does, and that is what a lot of spinners actually do, which is why I'm calling it conventional spin. Just to let you know, Harbhajan Singh actually explained it to me very well. To get side spin, try and if you're trying to change a bulb, and when you change a bulb, how do you do? How is your movement of changing the bulb? Like this. That's how you get side spin, conventional spin. Now, what is overspin? Overspin is, now it's not traveling, the ball will not travel like a chakri in Diwali like this. It will travel much like the earth on an axis. Like you see an earth, earth's movement is like this. It travels like this, with the seam being like this, equator of the earth being like that. The movement is like that on a bit of an axis. That is what overspin does. So when I'm imparting overspin, my hands are going to move from here to here. Like the spin is like this. For side spin, it is this way, like 180 degree. For overspin, the spin is this way. The number of degree is slightly lesser. Now, what is the difference? What is the difference, or how does the ball behave differently when you give it side spin and when you give it overspin? In side spin, you tend to get more turn. In overspin, you tend to get more bounce, because remember, the revs are like that. It pitches both time, it will land on the seam, but in the case of side spin, it will land on the seam and then turn sharply in. You see those bat pad ball going in between that. Usually that kind of a dismissal is affected by a side spin. Overspin is when the ball bounces a bit much, sometimes takes the gloves of a batter, because there's been that extra bounce that it's got, or a lot of bowlers actually use it as a variation as well, because conventionally they'll bowl the side spin for a lot of turn, and then suddenly the overspin where the ball will not turn much, and then those occasions you see the batter actually nicking the ball because he's really playing for that conventional turn that he's gotten used to while facing you, and suddenly an overspin, lesser turn, will take your edge or sometime your glove. So that's what an overspin does. There will be certain bowlers who will be good in overspin, certain bowlers who will not be very good in overspin. That also makes a huge difference sometimes with your action as well. If it's more straight on or very high arm sort of an action, then you tend to get more of overspin. If you're very side on, Rajesh Chauhan comes to my mind, very, very side on, then it's mostly the side spin that will help you do very well. If a bowler like, let's say, Rajesh Chauhan tried to do a lot of overspin, you may not get that kind of overspin. So that's the major difference. And when is it that you, as I said, certain bowlers tend to do overspin well? That's where you will see in limited over internationals, a lot of time captains getting certain spinners to bowl with the new ball, to begin white ball match with the new ball, because they tend to impart better overspin. And when the ball is new and when the pitch is flat, that's when is a right time to bowl overspin, because side spin won't work. For side spin to work, there needs to be a bit of rough on the pitch. That's when because the ball needs to really grip, that's when the side spin happens. The other advantage with side spin is you get a bit of drift as well, because remember, the movement is like that. As I mentioned, it's moving like that. You get that drift in the air. In overspin, sometimes you will not get that kind of drift of the ball really coming into the batter. So there are advantages, disadvantages. That's why you'll see in the test match, Side spin will start working from day 3, day 4 onwards when there's a bit of rough, or when the ball has become old. There'll be a bit of a grip for the ball. With newer ball in limited overs international or even in test matches, day 1 pitch, day 2 where it's like completely flat to bat on most occasions, you will try and rely on overspin. So that's the major difference between overspin and side spin. And since I'm addressing this entire issue of spin and how it turns, I have a bone to pick with a lot of commentators, writers, and a lot of us folks that even talk about cricket. We tend to interchange these words in side spin and overspin, but I beg your pardon, in spin and turn, we try and interchange these words. They are not interchangeable. Spin is what I impart on the ball. So when I'm talking about spin, overspin, spin, side spin, this is the spin I'm imparting on the ball. Turn is what happens to the ball after it lands on the pitch. So that's a turn. It's turning more or turning less. When the ball lands on the pitch, that's not spin. Spin is what I'm doing to the ball when it is turning. This was another episode of On the Ball with Nikhil. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, do give us a like. And yes, don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today for more such content. Bye-bye.